Welcome to Championship One-Pocket. I'm Grady Mathews along with Bill Weenie Beanie Staton. And Bill, why don't you describe for our listeners what's upcoming?
Well, we're in Roanoke, Virginia, and we're at the first annual Roanoke One-Pocket Championship. We had about 40-some players to begin, and we have a feature match tonight. Both players are undefeated. This is Steve Cook, formerly from Lima, Ohio, now residing in Tampa, Florida. He is several times one-pocket champion. First is a kind of an unknown for me. His name is RAFAEL Martinez. He's from Mexico. You know the name of where he's from. Maybe you can tell me.
Well, the town is Tucumán, the state of Colima. He's 30 years old and presently ranked 6th in the world at 9-ball.
I understand he is a straight shooter. Now, I know very little of his one-pocket ability, but if he can learn the moves as well as straight as he shoots.
Well, I think we're in for the time of our lives, Bill. You want to talk about contrasting styles. Steve Cook is one of the masterminds of one-pocket. He will not ever shoot a wrong shot. And RAFAEL, I think, is going to be shooting at everything with great precision and accuracy.
You know, me, myself, personally, I would prefer to play against someone like Steve Cook. He's not that dangerous with shooting, but he will move you around. Now, RAFAEL here, he will shoot and a white flag.
All right, RAFAEL won the leg, Bill. And that's a pretty good break. What do you see as being his best opportunity to get out of this? I see maybe going off the 15, but he can't do that. He leaves the bank on the 3. If he goes over around the 5-ball with the cue ball, you see anything better?
Well, right now, I do not. He looked at the 1-ball, a possible bank across corner to things, but that won't work.
How about an easy kick behind the 5, which is lengthways, which is a shot I've seen Steve Cook execute on many occasions. If he does that, I don't think he'll leave the 15 or the 3.
Well, you know, he could possibly kick underneath the 3
and get the 5.
Come to the 5, but it looks to me like he's doing something with the top of the rack there.
Well, he's looking at the 1-ball. I believe he can see part of the 1-ball.
But yet he's got to control the cue ball, and I do not see any way that he can not leave a shot by shooting at that 1-ball.
No, me either. Unless he goes into the 5 with the 1. But if he does that, it looks like he'd have to hit the high side of the 9-ball.
He'll hit the high side of the 9-ball, which are the 2 balls right there at the top of the pack. And he's he can get out of this, but
is it possible he might have a bank on the 11 that goes and play the cue ball into the bottom of those 4 balls on the rack?
He's going to just tickle this 15 ball here and probably go over around the 5 and try to keep the 15 there, whereas it won't block the 3 ball. Well, he didn't block it. Now, RAFAEL can take a pretty aggressive shot here if you'd like.
Well, I don't know how I can keep from selling out the 11, though, Bill.
Yeah, that's true.
The 3 doesn't go. The 6 is in the way.
He has one other thing, the 11 ball into the 15 ball.
Sure.
You see, the 15 is the ball, the furthest one on the left. Striking the other striped ball into it, let it carry him off of it. I don't think he's going to do that.
I see banking the 3 into the 11 or the bottom side of the 15.
He's trying to make the 6. No.
Like that, that's a shot I kind of liked. I saw many good things could happen.
You see what I mean? He's going to be very dangerous.
Oh, he's going to be
firing. Absolutely perfect. What he'll do here, he'll strike that 11. It'll go. The cue ball will go into the cluster of balls there. Or he doesn't even have to go into them if he doesn't want to at this stage.
No, the 14 and 9 go, right?
He can draw the ball just straight up the table and have the 14 and the 9 and elect to break them at a different time.
Well, you and I are from the old school, a 5-0 lead. Of course, the 1 goes after he moves in. That's the route he's decided to take. A 4 or 5-0 lead should be good enough to win.
He will shoot the 14 now and or the 9.
He played for the 2 ball
here. He played for the 2, which is a very aggressive shooting. And he is so confident with shooting the balls in. That 2 is a little close there, so he's elected to go with the 5.
Well, you don't get to be the 6th-ranked 9-ball player in the world without a good measure of ability. He might have overdone this slightly. Can he make the 9 here? I don't think so.
It doesn't look like he can get by there. Did you notice how easily he drew that ball? In fact, he drew it too far.
Sure.
My stroke's a little anemic. It come about halfway that far.
Well, he's got 4 balls, and he's got a variety of reasonably good safeties. He could knock the 2 down by his pocket and bring the cue ball back over by the other side where Steve can't hit it. Or he could hit the, well, let's see what he's going to do here.
He looks like he can play in the 9 ball.
Oh, he had room to make it.
I didn't realize it either.
Now the 7 doesn't pass the 12, nor does the 8.
He's got the 8
think.
ball. The 8 ball will go by the 12.
Well, if that's the case, he can pretty much
If
just
he
flag
makes
this in the
this,
pocket.
if he touches those balls, then
Well, now he's going to shoot the combination.
that will be the 7 ball into the 12.
And he needs only 2 balls.
Mm-hmm.
This is pretty risk-free, too.
Yes.
And just like that, it's going to be 1-0 advantage Martinez.
I mean, they made it look easy. And, you know, those were not real easy shots, but he has executed so well.
No.
And the first game goes to RAFAEL Martinez. Just a quick 8 and out.
Well, you know, Beanie, I liked his shot selection there. I saw many good things could happen to him there.
Yes. Oh, the one shot, the first shot.
The very
was an
first
excellent
shot, sure.
Yes, you noticed it there. And
Well, I didn't notice it till I looked at it for a while, but
boy, if you can bring a ball back into the stack off the rail and it comes into a cluster of balls, you can luck one every once in a while, which he lucked it in.
well, that's classic vintage one pocket, to scrape balls off the stack or other balls into your pocket.
Yes.
Well, let's watch the patented Steve Cook break. Oh, that's an excellent break. However, well, I don't think the 5 or the 11 bank. The 5 might. If so, I think we'll see him end up deciding to shoot the 5-ball bank. I don't think he wants to get into a moving contest with Steve. His other choice, perhaps leave the cue ball on top of the rack, knock the 11 on his side.
I would have to say that that's what I would do, I believe.
Well, you and I would do that. I don't know if RAFAEL Martinez will. And that's what you alluded to earlier. When you play Steve Cook, in some areas he's fairly predictable.
Yeah.
RAFAEL, however, is not.
He's elected to shoot the 2 balls just above the stack that are loose. He's going to shoot the orange ball into the striped ball and probably park the cue ball right in the center of the table on the top of the ball. He's looking to see where the balls are going to go.
Well, I don't know why he's looking up the table.
You know what? Well, I don't either.
He's banking the 5, I bet you.
He's banking the 5. You're absolutely right. He's going 3 rails, too.
Oh, he fouled the
He
ball.
fouled the cue ball. In the course of stroking there, he touched the cue ball inadvertently, and he's -1 ball.
Now, here's an area where Steve Cook really excels. He'll get the most out of this. RAFAEL will be stuck on top of something. You can bet on that. I just don't know which ball it'll be.
He has several options here. He can go into the 8 ball there, which is a group of balls there, and maybe just leave the cue ball there, but he's looking at something else.
Well, I like hitting the 14 if the 3 moves
Well,
the
you
9.
know what? He's shooting the 4 into the 6 into the 15, and they're going to go over and touch the 10 and the 13. And he's playing the 13. It almost went, too.
Well, now RAFAEL can get out of this a little bit by kicking the 13 in.
Kicking the 13 in, exactly.
But, you know, the 11-ball bank might be on. That looks like it goes to me. This has to be a little better than even money bank. Well, he's not going to shoot it.
He's going up table, come back, and just try to stop the cue ball right there behind the 10. He hit it a little bit.
He's not going to get
He's
there.
not going to make it.
Well, again, you have to give the experience edge when it comes to things like kick shots to Steve Cook. New cloth, striking it easy with the high ball, it will lengthen out a little bit.
Yes.
Now, what do you play position on here, Beanie? This is not an easy position shot.
Well, with the bridge there, he is taking the, he's going up the table for the 1 or the 15, the way he is stroking the ball there.
Hey, well, I don't know if he's got it.
Him being left-handed, I think he ought to be able to reach this shot.
Well, we'll know in a moment. You would think he could reach across the table there and get at it. Every great once in a while, you can play this type of shot, by banking the 10 into the stack and billiarding the 13 in. It's not lying quite right for that.
He's trying to go back up for the 1 or the 15.
Right, he'd want to go right between them or go 2 rails. Right between them. Nicely done.
If he can make the 15, which I think he can, that will clear out the 11 ball, which is just at the head of the stack up there.
Well, I see 6 balls, don't you? It'll go the 1.
That's right. Well, at least 5.
Well, he's already made 1, though.
Yeah. If he can clear the 10 out next, which he may play a combination on it. He's got an opportunity to either play the 10 now or the combination on it.
Sure.
But I like just playing the 10 ball and going up for the 1 or the 11.
Well, he doesn't have a good angle to get on the 1. I can't tell if the 10's off the rail a little bit. I think the combination might be a little better shot.
The 10 is just off the rail, I would say.
And I think you just float this over. Play the cue ball up around the area of the 6 and 9. Oh, he went into him. Okay.
It turned out well.
He's such a great player. He saw that the 4 would come off the outside of the 10. I mean, he made that look easy, and I thought that was kind of a tough lie of balls. Now, Cook, oddly enough, has never learned to play even a little bit opposite-handed.
Now, this would be a perfect shot for a right-hander.
Sure.
And, you know, you would not have to do that. He's going to try to make this ball go around the table and come back for either the 1 or the 11. He's playing for the 11 ball.
Have you noticed over the years what great speed Steve Cook has?
Yes. It is just amazing.
You rarely see him hit one.
His expressions never change.
No.
I mean,
no,
you're talking about somebody concentrating well. He is. You could take some lessons from this guy.
Well, he sure has a great attitude. He never has anything but great things to say about his opponent. Now, it looks to me like he can hit the high side of this 3. Well, the 9 may be dead. It looks like he's drawing right into the 5.
He's drawing this.
Right, the 9 must be dead or he would not have played that in that fashion, I don't believe.
I don't think the 9 is dead. I was a little surprised the way he struck those balls.
All right, it's 5-0, advantage Cook, but I believe both players owe 1 ball. Or maybe just Rafael owes 1.
Oh, he's playing the 6 ball here. The 12 and the 6.
Well, this is pretty free here.
Yes. He'll just follow down for the 8 ball in the event that he makes this. He got a little bit of a bad roll there that the 12 came back and
yeah, because he would have been
blocked the 8.
perfect. Sure.
Yes.
Now here's another Steve Cook strength. He plays the lead well. Well, he's acting like he can make the 8. He might be able to make it. Anyway, he plays the score very well.
You know, for you 1-pocket beginners and things, if you get ahead like he is ahead 6 balls to nothing right at this point, actually when he spots 1 he'll be 5-0 or -1. At this stage you do not want to leave Rafael a shot with the balls down here at the end of the table, what I call in scoring position. If you get ahead and do not have a shot, you want to move them down into the non-unplayable area, which is behind the head string.
He's looking at kissing the 12 in off the 9, perhaps.
I think it's a little too high to kiss in.
Well, I thought so too. Plus, how does he keep from leaving a bank or
Yeah,
something?
for instance.
Now, the 14-5, if he could bank that, the 14 goes towards the 7, and he could pull a cue ball over maybe about the 2nd diamond where he does not leave a bank on the 8. That's a pretty good shot.
I like that shot. And if the 5 would go by the 2, but apparently it will not.
Oh, I think it will. I don't know. They must not throw off. He doesn't want to break those up that won't go.
I do not. If he's trying to make this 12, I do not like this shot. Oh, he really. That was an aggressive shot for him
Yes,
and
it
got
was.
away with it.
Boy, he almost sold everything out there.
I mean, had that 8-ball gone over and broken up those 2 balls and came out where it was scored, he would really be an underdog.
Sure.
Because the other balls were in good position to run.
Well, all 8 of them were there.
Yes.
The 2 being the farthest away.
I was a little surprised at that selection of shots.
Well, I don't know how the 7's lying here, Bill, but if it's laying correctly, don't you just bank the 1 into the 7 or the 3 here?
For Rafael, yes, being behind, 6-0, and
I see this. Even if he catches the high side of the 3 a little bit, you don't want to hit it too hard if the 9 goes over there. He's going to play the 7.
He's trying to play the 12 ball. Watch this. He's playing the 12 ball off the 7. It was a good shot if he made it. Look there, the 2 balls are wide open.
Now, if the 3 banks here, and he can get the cue ball over far enough where he can't make the 12, I think he'll take a shot at that.
I don't think he will be that aggressive unless it'll go straight across. Well, he can get the cue ball across. Yes,
right.
He's going to do that. He's just going to let the cue ball float all the way over here on the side rail. He'll have it as close to the side rail within an inch. Well, he did not hit it very well.
Well, that's not such a bad shot, though.
You know, he can make this 12 ball or the 9 into it.
Well, I don't know if the 12, now the 8-5 combination is makeable. I don't think he can cut this 12 in. He can't reach it any kind of way, but if the 12 is a 1/4 of an inch off the rail or so, that's in a big ball position. Or he's going to kick it easy.
I didn't like that shot. Now
No, I didn't
He
either.
showed a lot of weakness in knowledge of the game right there.
Yeah. Well, before I'd have done that, I'd have banked the 9 at the 12 and given myself a chance to win.
Yes. Especially in this stage of the game, you almost got to take that shot. You're behind 6-0. And the balls are down here in scoring position. Had you made that 12.
Well, it's almost like a free shot to give yourself a 2-0 advantage, too.
Yes.
Now instead it's going to be 1 apiece.
And game number 2 goes to Steve Cook, who has tied the score up at 1 game each.
We have to be careful here. The extent of Steve Cook's emotions may reach us up here. Oh, he's a neat guy, though. He's really a fine human being.
You know, he does not look as old as he really is. So
I don't know how old Steve is. How old is he?
I am not sure, but I know one thing. Our producer over here is saying he's 30. Our illustrious producer, Pat Fleming, is telling us he's 30. He won the Stardust Open in '67. He must have been about the age of 3, right?
Yeah.
I know it. Our producer is correcting himself, and he's saying he was talking about Rafael is 30 years old. I honestly don't know how old Steve is, but...
Now, if it weren't against a real fine shot maker like Rafael Martinez, I would consider banking the 14 or possibly even the 3 if it passes between the 14 and 6 back into the rack and trying to leave him straight in on the 12. But I'd be a little scared of doing that against Rafael.
Yeah. Against some other weak shooters like me, you can do that.
He's got another shot here. He's got a nice angle to bank the 14 into the rack and go 3 rails and stop between the 12 and 5.
Yes. He's looking at that, too. He's also looking at another possibility. I'm not real sure.
Well, he can knock the 12 on his side, but I always did think that was kind of a passive shot. I don't know how you feel about it. I don't think you gain anything by it. I don't see much else there, though. Do you?
Not really. Now, you know, this is what I think is so interesting about 1-pocket. It's not like 9-ball. In 9-ball, you have a road map. You go from the 1 to the 2 to the 3 to the 4, etc. Now, here in this game, you can shoot at any one of the 15 balls in many different ways. And Steve's just elected to try to squirm out of this break. And
well,
I think if I were he, I'm talking about Steve Cook with Rafael here. I'm going to just try to hide him as much as I can and move with him until he makes a mistake.
Well, Steve is going to outmove him. There's no question about that. I would just knock this 2 rails up around the side, like so. Well, I think I don't know if he's even got that same shot available. I don't think he can hit enough of the 12.
No, he's got to do something down at this end now. I don't think he can hit the 12 ball up there now. If he doesn't, he's going to, well.
Well, he doesn't have a 4-rail intentional scratch. The 14's in the way.
He's looking at a possible 3 or 4-rail kick.
I don't think that's there. The 14,
no, the 14 is
14's
in the way. Unless he just barely missed it. What Grady is alluding to, he's going to go around the table. 3 rails, possibly 4. If you look at the 5 ball as the orange ball down on the right-hand lower part, he's going to go 3 rails, come around and try to hit the side rail. Now here's what Grady said. Why he didn't want to think it was a very good shot. The 14 ball there was blocking the path.
Well, I sure didn't like that shot very much. If you're going to play it, don't you miss it a little on the short side and fall short of the 5?
A lot of the players have been making a little bit of mistakes like that the new cloth on the table is making the ball lengthen, especially if you hit it easy like you did.
I just don't like that kind of shot there, and I hate to second guess a Steve Cook, Beanie, but he can lose with that shot, can't win with it.
Yeah, I agree.
Before I did that, I would rather have taken a scratch on the end rail and left Rafael straight in on the 12.
Straight in on the 12. Now that, you're absolutely right. Now there was an opportunity, as you say, because you could automatically just roll it up there and just put him straight in. Now he's got to shoot from all the way down there. He couldn't possibly run over 1. Much better shot, yes.
And you could do it 100% of the time.
Yes.
Well, he's gotten a little bit out of line here. He's going to have to play the combinations, which he can do, but he doesn't want to draw the cue ball into the 10. If he goes into the 7 easily, then he would be all right. I'm a little surprised at the way he played the position there. I don't see much here other than the combination. I have a lot of confidence in a rail first here, but
he's trying a 2-rail bank on this 2 ball, and I don't really like this shot. He may get away with it and put the cue ball back into the rack. He's hit it well. He has hit it very well.
But now if Steve can see the 5 ball, he's pretty much out of the trap, I think. Maybe not. You know, if he can see the right edge of the 5, there's a shot here I like a lot, Bill. You hit the high side of the 2 ball with the 5 ball, knock the 2 towards your pocket, the 5 gets out of there, and low right English go into the 15 and 8. Just a nice medium speed shot. He's going to kick at it.
Steve's kicking at this ball. I know it's a big ball. It's about a ½ an inch off the rail there.
Well, look, Steve's going to hit his a little harder, right, and play it. He's going to allow for the long roll.
He's going to hit it a little straighter. Hit it pretty good, didn't he?
Well, the only difference is one-pocket players shoot that type of kick shot thousands of times. They're very well versed in that type of play.
That's exactly what you said. That Rafael tried exactly the same shot and did not execute it, and Steve executed it perfectly. He's going to try. I don't think. Well, he may shoot this shot. He's going to. No.
That's a bad angle. You have to dig down into the cue ball to have any chance to make it, and you might catch a 13 with the cue ball.
You know, there's one shot here that I like to shoot, is the 12 ball. It's the one on the right-hand side of the table up near the side pocket. Is bank it 3 rails towards your pocket, making the cue ball go across the table and end it up right in the middle of the table up the other end.
That's a good shot. You use low left English on this, or just exactly below center left.
Now let's see, but I think, let's see if that's what he's doing. That's exactly, but he hit it way too hard. Now he was going about 4 rails with the cue ball over here to the side. And I would have tried to park the cue ball up at the other end. Now Raphael tried to make the cue ball go 1, 2, 3 rails and back down here. And
well, he tried to get a little too exotic with it, meaning he tried to do too much with it. And it's a little early in the match possibly to make any predictions, but as a general rule, it's a terrible idea to turn the cue ball loose against Steve Cook.
He turned it loose that time. Now that was a very aggressive shot. I liked the shot, but he was trying to do a little bit too much. Now me, I would have gone 1 rail safety with the cue ball. He was trying to go 3 rails and bring the cue ball back around here on the left side of the stack.
Now Steve might have an angle to hit the 3 and go behind the 5. I don't think he's got any kind of natural angle just to knock the 5 out of there. I think he'll be looking for a way to open up some balls and maybe put the cue ball behind the 5.
He's looking at, well, he's thinking of the 12 ball there that's just over the line of banking it across corner and just letting the cue ball slide down.
Yeah, nice high ball.
Yeah.
Now, where do you like it? How far? I like to bring mine down just past the side here.
Yes. And that's exactly what I would try to do. On this ball, you want to try to bank it and make it if you can, and drift the cue ball just below the side pocket as close to the rail as possible.
Now, you want to be careful here, in my opinion, Bill, not to hit this bank long. If I miss it, I'd rather miss it short, because if Steve hits the 2 ball, right, with the 12 ball, there's a good chance he might leave Raphael a bank.
That's exactly right. The one thing you must do on this shot is you've got to hide the 12 ball, the 12 ball being the ball.
That's the key to the whole thing.
Just over the line, and he's going to bank it toward his pocket, 1 rail, and let the cue ball follow down here. And as Grady alluded to there, well, he's elected to try to bank at the 5 ball. Now, I think he's going to try to bank this ball 3 rails. Let's see, and control the cue ball in between that 8 and 15 and the 1.
High left English, but not too hard.
No, he didn't hit it hard enough for the 3 railing. Well, he was headed in that direction.
But he controlled the cue ball very well.
Yes, that was the most important thing. Now, all of a sudden, he has become, a little bit of a favorite with the balls where they are now. With that 1 ball, the 5 ball on his side, leaves Raphael, about 80% of the table less to play safe on.
Right, right.
In other words, he cannot put him anywhere up the table.
Now, this 8 ball is a bad shot. I don't know why. 9 ball players like to shoot this kind of shot. This is a hard
what
shot.
He's trying to do is bank this ball, come 2 rails around over near the 5 ball.
Of course, he made it look easy.
That's the 9 ball shooter.
But you'll leave a bank on the 1 or 15 way more often than make it. But at any rate, he's done pretty well. Now, what he has to watch is to not catch the 9 and then the 10 and go between the 15 and 6. Oh, he did real nicely.
He stroked that beautifully there.
Very nice. Well, Steve Cook's probably wondering to himself, where do I have to leave this guy?
Yes.
Notice what a great stretch Raphael has for a relatively short person.
You would think that a short person is at a big disadvantage. And some of the greatest players that ever lived, Willie Mosconi and
Nick Barner and Boston Shorty, Jose Perica,
Efren Reyes, all are very short. It seems like when they're just at a certain height there that somehow, and they learn to stretch. If you watch the stretch on this guy and the stroke, he can reach about as far as Dave Bowman, which is about 6'4".
Sure. Well, the 9 goes. I think he's wondering what to play position on. No good. I would play position on the 5, assuming I have plenty of room to pocket the 9.
Not the 15.
Not the 15.
He's elected to go around on the 5, and he played it as.
Now the 5 is his 6th ball. The 15 can be his 7th. Or if the 10 doesn't go. I would go ahead and get on the hill here. I just play the 5 and 15 and then play a defensive game or try to get a bank or something of that nature.
Yeah, he can make this 5 ball and get on the 15 and then possibly have a bank at the 11 ball if he moves to 10.
What I wouldn't do is go into balls here with the 5. It's too critical to go ahead and get on the hill.
The only thing you might want to try to do is come up there and just nudge the 10 ball. Now he's looking at not going into the balls, just hitting it fairly easy. And I think he's just going to hit it real easy, which he did. Oh, looky here, what a...
Well, you called it right into the 10
Right
ball.
into
Now
the
he's
10.
out. Very nice shot. But notice that he played it in such a fashion that he was a high percentage
Yes.
to have shot on the 15.
What he'll do here is just draw the ball, one rail, possibly two rails, come around for the 11 ball, which is the striped ball. Uh-oh, he just moved the ball, but he's allowing Steve Cook to replace the ball. In the event like that, when you're playing in a tournament match and there's no referee, the players are pretty good about, allowing the guy to put the ball back.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at this unusual position.
And he's
Executed quite well.
He's fine. The cue ball will go into the 2 ball easily. He'll just lag this 11 in.
He's
Well,
playing for
Bill, one thing I've noticed at the one-pocket tournaments, I haven't seen a single bad argument or skirmish or scene. Everybody's so well behaved and has such a nice time.
I've just had a delightful time this week here, and as you say, absolutely, everybody's just having a good time. The camaraderie has just been great.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Well, if you're Steve Cook, you take a pop at this 3 ball. The 7-10 may go.
I believe the 7-10 is good. The score is 7-0. Favor of RAFAEL Martinez. I'm laughing that the waitress here asked if we'd like something to drink, and Grady said, "Give our producer the check over there."
And make him take.
I'm gonna let him pick up my dinner check and his Coke. All right.
Well, this is pretty simple. There's only one choice.
He has got to bank at the 3 ball.
Right.
And he's got to try to keep the cue ball. I think this 10 ball will go if he can stay over there on that side where the 12 ball is, way up the table. If he'll draw the ball, and I think it would go.
He's just going to hit this a nice medium speed, though.
He missed it.
Well, he must have had more angle than we thought, Bill, or he would not have gone down there by the 4.
That's right. RAFAEL is playing for 1.
Well, let's give RAFAEL credit, Beanie. He earned that game. He made a great bank on the 1. I mean, not the 1, the 8 ball.
Yes. It was a shot that, as I told you from the beginning of this match, he is very dangerous. For instance, Steve thought he had him pretty well safe.
On the adjacent table, I think it's worth mentioning, there's Donnie, the tire man, Morrison. He defeated Steve Mizrak and Nick Varner. And his opponent, Gene Thomas, a relatively unheralded player, they're both undefeated.
And yes, Donnie Morrison has really been the Cinderella story of this tournament.
Uh-oh. Did you see that?
Yes. All right. You know what? There's been an awful lot of balls made on the break here at this tournament. I know Buddy Hall made 2 out of the 3 breaks that he had in his match the other day. He made a ball on the break. And once he ran 8 and out. And he also ran 5 the next time. So here Steve has answered, he's behind 2 games to 1. He answered with making a ball on the break. Unfortunately for him, he's only got a couple of loose balls here.
Well, I don't know what your opinion is, Bill. In a situation like this, I like playing the 10, the 4, the 9, then the 2. Might as well get as many loose ones as you can.
And when he gets on that 2 ball, if he does, that's the blue ball on the right-hand side of the pack. I think he's going for it now. Let's see. No, he didn't. He went for the bank. Now, that was a very conservative play, I thought. I thought he could come back on the 4, didn't you?
Well, I would have played for the bank on the 4.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what he did. Yeah, played for the bank.
He just got a little more angle than he wanted these. Well, the 3 might go.
I'm just looking. That's the red ball.
Right.
That's the lowest one in the stack there. And if he can hit the 13, I'm talking about Rafael, this 3 ball may go in his pocket once that 4 is moved.
He can make this 3 from anywhere on the table unless I missee the lie of the balls. And if that's true, then Steve, if he's going to shoot the bank, needs to hit it with
shoot it
pretty good speed like that.
Yes, he made it.
The three also goes, I think, if Rafael can hit the 11, so it's makeable from virtually anywhere on the table.
If you hit the 1 up there, that's the one that goes into the 13, into the 11, into the 15, and then
not going to matter much. He's going to break it out here.
He's going to break it up.
I thought he was.
Yeah, he didn't break him with it.
Well, the score is 4-0 in balls.
And Rafael hasn't had a shot. So
No.
Steve's halfway out of this game, and
Now he's got to be careful. I don't like the way the 3 is coming off the 5-8 here. I don't like that at all. I might consider, if you can do it, just letting Rafael have the 5 on his side and lagging the cue ball up on the back of the rack, like that. Just let him have it on his side, and that way you don't risk anything popping loose.
that's what Steve has got to do with this guy. He has got to, I know it's very difficult to, they're going to shoot at something, but he has got to hide that cue ball behind something to keep Rafael from making one of those great banks like he made last time and run out.
Well, he makes such good hits on the object ball, Rafael does. I think it's worth mentioning that you and I both are kind of enamored of good money players. Rafael is an excellent money player. He plays all the best players in the world and plays like a perfect gentleman. A lot of fun to watch.
Yes, he is. And, well, you can see the determination on his face when he plays. And it's good to see a lot of the new players coming into the game that dress well, look well, and he's just a perfect gentleman from what I've seen at the table.
Now he's going to knock the 3, hopefully, where Steve Cook cannot hit it, and just put the cue ball back here on the other side of the table. But now, with a 4-0 advantage in balls, Steve Cook will start pushing the balls up the table if he can.
That's called the up table, down table strategy of one pocket. For instance, Steve is ahead by 4 balls. Now he would love nothing more than to put the balls down the table where they would be very difficult.
But he has no angle to do that here.
He's trying a shot here from what I think he's got his mind made up, that he's going to bank the 15, or he's going to hit the 15 and the 14 kissing off the 8 and going across. I don't like the shot at this stage. But look what he did with the cue ball.
Well, the shot looks pretty good to me, provided he wouldn't leave Rafael the 11.
Well, let me just tell you what could go wrong there. For instance, had he just hung the ball up. See the 5 ball that's down at the other end? Now, the 8 fortunately got in the way of a bank for him. Mm-hmm. Rafael, on these tables, they're banking very well, and he could just pop that 5 in, and
all right,
with
good
the
point.
Angle on the 3 could break up those balls, as dangerous as he is. And
well, here's a spot. If I were playing somebody that I thought I was a superior shot maker to, I might bank the 11 into the rack and try to put the cue ball right on the middle, in the middle of the end rail, and dare the guy to shoot the 9 ball.
I like the shot.
Huh?
I like that
Well, when
shot.
you're behind a few balls.
When you're behind, he's behind 5-0. I would even possibly dare say bank it back into the stack and put the cue ball almost down in the pocket. But he's not doing that. He's knocking it down the table. I don't like that shot.
Well, I think that's a good shot. If he had hit the middle of the 113, for an example, the 6 and 15.
Oh, yeah, I think your shot would have been a lot better selection than that. Now the balls are definitely going down the table.
We're going to have another cue raffle.
Well, now they're going up the table for sure.
$250 retail each. They'll sell.
Well, now that he's allowed Steve to get the balls in this mid-game position, I don't like Rafael's chances of winning this game. Now he's got no choice but to go along with the program and move more things up the table himself, which is exactly what Steve Cook would like him to do.
Yes, and I do not like his chances if they all get down the table right now with a 5-0 deficit for Rafael. However, Steve has imperative that he win this game, and he's elected to do that now, but I think it's just a little late. I couldn't tell quite what he was trying to do there. I thought he was going into the 13 and dropping down the table.
Well, I don't know what Steve's going to do here. You got to be a little careful of the 8-ball, Bill. I believe that banks back between the 5-15, don't you?
Yes. Steve's just going to move some more balls down the table.
Watch out.
Boy, that was close.
Yeah, it sure
Had he
was.
knocked that ball into the side pocket, Raphael would have been straight in on it. But as these balls are lying now, if Raphael does get a shot, he doesn't figure to run over 1 or 2 balls.
Maybe we can get a nice shot of Nick Varner across the way there. There's a shot of Nick watching the match with great interest.
With his lovely girlfriend, Tony, there.
Isn't she a nice person?
Yes, she is.
Well, you know, he's got a two-railer here, perhaps not. I wouldn't shoot this unless I thought I could get the cue ball right behind the 9. Because it takes a perfect hit. He might catch the 6 on the second rail, and he leaves Steve a bank on the 13 or 12.
Yes.
Plus, nothing goes for him even if he makes it. I just don't see anything for Raphael here. We should mention that Bill Incardona is playing Marshall Squirrel Carpenter across the way there too. And it's 2-0 advantage Incardona.
He's trying that 2 rails.
Well, I like that if he can get it
what he
behind the 9.
did with the cue ball, too.
Right,
Great shot.
that's how I liked it, if he could get it behind there.
If that ball would have stopped a couple inches closer to the pocket there, Steve would not have had a safety on that ball.
No.
Now Steve's just going to tickle this ball and just try to put it as close to the end rail down here as you can.
The reason for the elevation, to make sure he comes nowhere close to the corner pocket.
Excellent touch.
Well, we talked about that already. Now he's got a nice 2-railer on the 9, right?
That's a little tricky there, getting it between that by that 6 ball. The 6 ball being the green ball down at the end rail.
Now, you and I know that there's no way to keep from leaving a bank here.
Yes. He's going to try to go forward a few inches. See what I mean? The 6 ball, he clipped it. But he got a little bit lucky.
No, I don't think so. He's got a nice free bank at the 1 here, right?
Yes, you're right.
And if he uses a little bit of left English, he can actually play billiard on the 15 if he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
Or shoot it easier than that, maybe go up by the side pocket.
This cue ball will not be beyond the side pocket, but a couple inches. There, the cue ball is a couple inches. Is that
Well, I knew
good?
it was a natural billiard in the 15, too.
Yes, as Grady alluded to, or he said, the 15 is right beside the cue ball. Grady said he had to be.
It's such a fabulous game. Sometimes if the 15 weren't there and a player's way behind, he might play to go all the way down and make a ball hung up like the 11 ball.
That was just a great control of the cue ball there. And, you know, that's where I wanted to put it if I were shooting it.
Look at Raphael, Bill. He wants to bank this 15.
He's looking at shooting the 15 and banking it.
Now, what does Steve Cook got to be thinking? He's saying,
I know
what did
that's
this?
exactly, the 15 ball is the ball right closest to him.
Well, I don't care if I go down 1,000,000 times. This is the kind of shot I like my opponent shooting.
Yeah. If he shoots this and makes this, I got to give it to him.
Well, this is off angle. I don't know.
I think I would go ahead and try to get the 1 out or either sacrifice it.
Yeah, I don't see that he has much choice.
I would not bank at that 15 ball there. The reason.
It's tough to play a good aggressive one-pocket player because they don't know how hard these shots are. They think they're easy.
So far, I'm evaluating Raphael's one pocket moving, and he's done a pretty good job. I was
for the experience I think he has, which isn't an awful lot. I think he's doing very well.
Yes.
Well, here's a nice shot on the monitor.
Trying to bank it straight back. He missed it badly. Well, look what he was trying to play a safety all at the same time and get position on the 9.
Bill, you correct me if I'm wrong. That bank is impossible to make at that speed.
Yes.
You cannot make it.
I agree. In other words, he's got to shoot that much about half that hard in order for it to take the spin. That was like a give-up shot.
And for what it's worth, for aspiring one-pocket players, when Rafael cut the 15 ball to his left and put right English on it, and hitting it hard makes it shorten up a little more, and it really is impossible. You cannot make it at that speed.
No, not at that speed and drawing the cue ball that far.
I think we'll see Steve just play for a bank on a 3 here. He needs 2 balls.
He can either bank the 3 or the 12 or the 13. He's going for the 3.
Well, he didn't get quite.
Oh,
where
he's
he
going to
wanted.
bank the 15 ball, I would say.
No, I don't think he'll do that, Bill. He risks
Yeah,
hitting
you're
the
right.
3.
Oh, I can see. You're right.
He'll make sure he doesn't hit the point or get a kiss. He just kind of an off angle. He just lag it down by his pocket like that. And now, in case it comes to this kind of thing, you're going to see patience unprecedented, perhaps in sportsdom. Steve would like to get all 7 or all 8 of these balls hung up in one of the opposite corners.
Mostly on his side, so he can't bank them.
Right, right. And play bunt pool for about an hour, and then.
Right now, Steve, in this particular game, has Rafael exactly where he wants him.
Well, I tell you what I would do here. I'd try to knock the 3, maybe up into the 12 or 13, get them mixed up a little bit there, where in case Steve did make a poor shot, maybe I could get those 3.
Now, you've won a lot of games like this, where your opponent needs 1 and you need all the balls. But you know what you have to do in that? My strategy has always been, if I needed all of these balls, my opponent needed 1, I would knock this 3 ball away from his pocket, try to get them all down to the other end, and slowly put them into the pocket, and they're respotted. Now they're back in play.
To put it another way, what Beanie is saying is that you only shoot shots at this end when you can only make 1 if you're about 100% to make it.
Well, this shot is no good at all. There's no other balls. He can't get but 1 ball.
Nothing to gain.
He has just got to knock the 3 ball away and just try to get another shot down the line. The main thing is he's got to get some balls in circulation that will fit in his pocket.
But that doesn't fit his 9-ball persona. He wants to shoot.
I know.
He's trying to find a way to shoot.
I know.
And I'm not saying anything bad about Rafael. He's a nice gentleman and a fine player. Well, he found a way to shoot, and what a great shot.
Now, you think that wasn't great execution?
Well, that was a much better shot if he than the 15.
And, you know, that was a difficult shot. And the English that he put on that ball, and he made it, and he controlled the cue ball well. Now, of course, he's just going to try to bank this 15 down there. And he is right now what I call it shooting at a white flag.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing to gain here either, Bill. You can't control the cue ball. Now, the difference is you or I would be trying to pocket a ball, maybe to get it on the spot where he can't hit it or something of that nature.
Yes.
This really doesn't do him any good.
Well, I think what he's going to try to do here is, and he's going to try to bank this 15, and he's going to try to put the cue ball over on the side rail. In the event it does not go in, it will be hidden behind that 13 and 12 that's right in the middle of the table. Look like they're dancing with each other there. That would be my strategy of this shot right here.
Yeah, but I don't think he's thinking that. I like your ploy in this situation, but I think he's going to try to go all out to make it and play position to bank the 12 or 13.
I disagree with you here. Now, you watch. If he shoots his shot the way he is thinking right now, he's going to shoot it just hard enough to reach the table. And we watch his cue ball. Well, no, he's drawing the ball.
Well, I'm telling you, he's going 2 rails for position. No, you're right.
I was surprised that where he was drawing the ball.
Well, that's nice speed.
Speed, I guess, is perfect. But I would have shot it and let the cue ball come back on the side rail and try to hide that ball behind that 13 and 12. He deliberately went out of his way not to hide it. He was drawing the ball.
Well, now Steve doesn't want to leave the 6, but he also would like to leave it where Rafael cannot break up the 12 and 13.
Well, Rafael has scored 2 balls with Steve's help there.
Here comes a replay of the banked Rafael Martinez just executed. Nice.
Take
cross
a look
corner.
at this angle, folks, and how he hit this with so much right-hand English. It's unbelievable.
Nice shot.
That is a beautiful shot with complete control of the. He's trying to bank the 6 ball here, right back in his pocket with the same speed.
I sure like that replay feature that Accu-Stats has added to its arsenal of weapons.
Yes, that is very nice, Pat.
Now he's going to cross this, go down, back down by the 5 and 8.
If he's
5,
trying to
8,
put
11.
inside English on this thing, this one might butt its head. What I
No,
call
he can
kiss
beat
it.
the kiss there, I think.
Oop, hit it well. If you look at the control of that cue ball,
Well, it's disgusting.
I mean, that is perfect speed. Now, before he shot that shot, that's exactly what he pictured in his mind where he wanted that cue ball.
Sure.
And to put it there is the next thing, is a little hard.
Well, I think Raphael has room to kick the 6 ball out, and there's no sense in looking at the 5 here. Even if he can hide the cue ball where Steve cannot hit the 6 behind the 12 and 13, shooting the 5 here, in my opinion, is worthless. I like your strategy. You wait to try something until you can gain quite a bit from it.
Yeah, you got to be able to gain a number of balls.
Even if he could lay the cue ball behind the 8. Now, if he could do that and get the 5 real close to his hole, perhaps it would be all right. But what he did is looking for an early exit from this particular game, and Steve Cook will probably oblige him.
Well, I'll tell you, that was not a bad shot. The reason being, he put all 3 of those balls, all 4 of the balls that are down table here are now in circulation, plus the 8's in circulation. It's a good bait. So what he did with that shot, I liked.
Well, why doesn't Steve Cook I don't like going behind the 8 here. Just knock the 8 over to about the 2nd diamond. What can Raphael do?
I know one thing, I would never knock that 11 ball in the pocket there,
let
which he
Raphael
turned
do that.
around. Yes.
If he knocks the 8 over about the 2nd diamond, or even better, the 3rd diamond, on the far right-hand side rail, Raphael is finished.
He is. No, he's not completely finished. There would be a ball to go on the spot. And
Now you're assuming he shoots the 11 in. Steve would just thin the 11 and go back up the table. Or that's the reason for if he had the right angle to knock it up about the 3rd diamond, he could cut at the 8 and come back across the table and not leave anything. I wouldn't do this. Now he might allow Raphael to make the 8.
no, he definitely does not want to knock that 11 ball. He's going to get these balls all in circulation here. Now,
That's the
Raphael,
shot I like right there. Now what can Raphael do?
he's going to knock the 11 ball in the pocket and just let him shoot it off the spot or one of those other balls.
Well, he can't shoot the 11 in. That's suicidal.
Not necessarily.
Unless he could corner hook him. Now that's a daring play. If he could corner hook him, then he'd force Steve to shoot the 8, but all he has to do is thin it and come back across the table. Now here's an old Ronnie Allen shot.
All right, what
If
is
it's
that?
lying right, you bank the 5 and play a billiard on the 13, move them both towards your pocket. Ronnie used
Good
to hit
shot,
those real
yes,
good.
I agree.
Well, I mean, if you're desperate and behind,
I think the 5 is just a little low for
it
that.
looks like it to me too. Well, let's see how Raphael gets out of this self-imposed dilemma.
Well, I know one thing, he is thinking very hard, and I do not see too many ways to get out of this.
Well, if he's got room, you go rail first to the side rail and kick the 6 out of there. Low left English, right? But it would have been much simpler to do a shot or 2 ago.
I still like the idea of shooting 11 in the pocket and just leaving there on the rail and just see what he would do. Just draw the cue ball back about where he is now and let him shoot the ball off the spot toward the 6. If he happens to miss it, he might leave a bank. I don't think, you know what he's trying to do? He's trying to shoot the 12 in. Watch this shot, folks. Called a scratch off the 5.
He shot my shot, right?
And yeah.
But he's going down.
And he's scratching too.
You know, I thought that billiard was on.
What a shot. Now that is a little unlucky.
But you know the difference between the way he shot it and the way Ronnie would have shot it, Bill, is that Ronnie would have shot it about half that speed.
Yes.
Right?
You're right. That way it would not have rolled back over there that far.
Pardon me? No, you don't get a ball that he scratches on.
Yeah, but he can't rake the balls off the table.
Did he rake the balls off? Yeah, there's a loss.
There was some question about Raphael actually fouled on that shot, and Steve did not get the credit for the ball, but Raphael inadvertently raked the balls down the table, and that is loss of game. But that was a great shot there.
I'd rather make the 11, force him to play the combination spot shot. If he misses that, he can win.
Pat, have you got the microphone? Can I have it? Microphone. Is it on?
Yeah. Hey, Billy, let's gang up on Grady here. Now, didn't you like the idea of him shooting the 11 ball?
Hand me the connection there, Bill, if you will.
We have our other commentator here, Billy Cardona, and we're hooking up a microphone right now. While there's a little break in the action, Steve Cook had to go to the bathroom for a moment.
Oh, wait. This is far.
Right? I'll go over the other side.
It's 2 apiece, Bill. We could use a little company.
He's talking to Bill Cardona, of course.
I'm awfully sorry. You know, I played RAFAEL Martinez about 2 weeks ago in Chicago one-pocket. And about a year ago, he really didn't play much one-pocket at all. And when he did play, he really wasn't that effective because he really didn't know the game. But he's been playing quite a bit of one-pocket since then. So I played him for about 2 days in Chicago. And he ended up beating me like 3 games. But I was really impressed with his ability to pocket balls. And that was just evidence there in his last shot. He was able to pocket that billiard that billiard with the bank, you know, and he ended up banking the 5-2 cushions in Steve's pocket. Now, I kind of like him pocketing the 11 there. All the balls were in play, forcing Steve to play the combination spot shot.
Well, that's what Beanie said.
Yeah, because all the balls are in play. Steve's under a lot of pressure. He's trailing in the match 2-1. He's going to have to hit that spot shot good, and if he doesn't, he may lose the match. So therefore, you know, I didn't think that was a.
Well, I wouldn't have shot the spot shot anyway. I would have shot the 8 ball. Just brought the cue ball back across the table. He can't see the 6 or.
Well, you know, regardless, that the shot that he shot was always going to be available. You know, and that was just a desperation shot. I didn't think it was time for him to shoot it. But what do I know? I'm on the loser side. I'm looking.
Well, it's
at
kind of interesting. I thought the billiard was dead.
Yeah, you called the billiard shot. Unfortunately, the roll of the balls did not favor Raphael. That was a great billiard shot. I know.
Well, that's one of the things I like about that shot, Beanie, is that I call that a split shot.
Yes.
And it's hard to miss. The only thing he did was hit it a little too hard.
The score is tied up 2 games each. RAFAEL Martinez breaking.
And I'm having a lot of fun. This is a great match.
Certainly is.
All right, we're going to get to see a replay of that shot.
Well, I think you have to give Martinez the edge here. He's breaking in the final.
All right, there it is.
You look at this billiard.
Now
on
notice
the
it when Mr. Mathews tells you a shot's dead, that it's dead. All right, that was a nice replay.
Now, the only thing about that shot, as you said, he should have hit it a little easier.
Right.
He could have still made the shot, and the 5 would have been on his side.
Well, do you remember how many games Ronnie Allen would beat you with that kind of shot?
You called that one.
Yeah, but Ronnie Allen executed the shot a little bit better. He hit it with the right speed.
That's right.
He hit the shot too hard. He
That's right.
didn't have much future in hitting that shot as hard as he did.
Not only did he make the ball in the other guy's pocket, but he scratched up there in the side pocket. No, you wanted to try to keep control of that. Hit it just hard enough for the 5 to get over there to his pocket. The cue ball would have been in the perfect
and
place.
that's some of the inexperience showing, you know,
Yes.
on that particular shot. Raphael definitely is capable of winning the match. It's 2-2. He's breaking the balls for the final game.
But look at this
But
break,
in
fellas.
crucial
What do you do here?
situations, I don't know. I kind of like Martinez before he broke the balls because the break seems to be very, very, very big on this equipment. The balls seem to open up pretty good, and the pockets are forgiving. And with a guy as offensive as Raphael, you know,
I'll
give
tell
him
you,
a shot.
I
he
don't
can
see
get out.
much here. He could knock the 3. on his side of the table and go down the middle of the end rail, assuming the 9 doesn't pass the 14.
No, the 9 does not
Well,
pass.
there's another shot available. You could play the billiard shot, the 4 cushion kick behind the 14.
That's exactly what he's looking at right now.
But
No,
there's
I'm not
nothing
sure.
to gain there.
I agree with you,
We just went
Grady.
through this 2 games ago. The 7's a little bit in the way. If he comes in at the perfect angle to go 4 rails behind the 14. If he comes shorter than that, he might leave a bank on the 10 or 9. It takes perfect speed, and you don't gain anything. It's going to be worse next time.
Well, I don't know. He's got to buy a little time here. He has to do something immediately because it's, it's very demanding right now that he has to execute a shot and execute it well to get out of this trap that he's in. He can't afford to give Martinez an offensive shot, even if he has to take an intentional scratch. I look for him to play the 4 cushion shot. It looks like that's what he's going to do.
Well, this
He's
takes
going
perfect
4
speed.
cushions, back around. You see the 14 ball is bound here in the right-hand corner pocket. Come around, there's 4 cushions. Now,
That's like an intentional scratch. He's trying to buy a little time. Possibly next time he steps to the table, he'll have a little better situation to deal with.
he gave Rafael a little teasing shot here.
Well, what I would do here, if it's not lying right to play the 10 off the 2 towards his pocket, I might consider taking a scratch right between the 2 and 11 and 5 and 12 and force Steve to take another scratch.
If he's able to do something offensively, the 9 and 14 is lined up into the corner pockets. So believe me, he's really thinking offensively right now.
Now, he might be able to play the 10. The 4 doesn't go. But if he hits the 6 ball on the right-hand side, he's going to mix those up a little bit. What he might consider doing is playing the 10 into the 9, right? I don't know. Got some choices here.
He's looking at playing the 10 off of that 2 ball and trying to play it back toward his pocket. The 10 ball being the ball right in the center of the table, the loose ball there.
Well, I like this shot, Beanie, provided he can get the cue ball up around the 2nd diamond. I certainly would not want to let Steve Cook be able to see the 9 or the 14 when he comes to the table. If he does that, he's going to give his advantage away. God, I love this 1 pocket. What a fabulous game. Can we get a replay of Bill Cardona making his concession handshake earlier? Oh, that's not available. I'm sorry.
Grady likes to tease my friend Billy in Cardona.
Oh, and he doesn't tease me, right?
Well, Billy, while we have a little break in the action, tell us about your new club that you opened up in Chicago.
Let's take a look and find out exactly what.
All right, I predict that he's trying to kiss this ball off the 2 ball back toward his pocket. Well, he just decided to bank it straight back over.
Well, that's what I meant by I thought he could get the 4 safe.
But you know, what he did there was a great shot. With the angle that he had, he hit it with such a slow speed that it didn't disturb the balls much around it.
Right, he had to hit it like that to not sell a 4.
Yes. And he was shooting. If he makes it, he's a prohibitive favorite to win the match then.
That's
And I don't know that Steve has a way to give up the 10 ball here.
Well, you saw the results of that particular shot, and it looks like that was probably the best shot available, because if he would have made that ball, chances are that he probably would have run out.
Now, if Steve can give him the 10 ball, this could become a very, very interesting game and match. Not that it has not already been. Well, he had to go rail first, but he's gotten this where Rafael cannot make the combinations, I think.
No, I don't think he can make the combination.
You know, if the 9-14 is dead, I wouldn't be surprised to see Rafael kick at the 9-14, because he kind of thinks these shots are like hangers.
Yeah, Steve asking if he owes one. He did take a 4-rail scratch.
Yes. So the score
He's looking to
involved.
kick at the 9-14 here, and if he hits the top of the 9, he can't sell out anything, providing that the 1 doesn't go. If he's able to hit the top of the 9, he's looking at winning the match. This is not a bad shot, even though it may look like a bad shot. If he executes it the way he wants to,
Billy,
he
he
win the
gives
match
up
with
his
it.
advantage completely if he does.
He may win the game with it, though, but there's something to.
Can he see the 5 ball?
He's looking at what Billy said. He is.
It's
What
not
he
a bad.
wants to
It's
shoot.
not a bad shot, really. It isn't a bad shot because he kicks really well, and if he happens to hit the top side of the 9, he's probably going to win the match.
Well, you called it, Billy. I think. And he executed
So
it.
if you have
Very
the
nice,
confidence
very
that he has kicking balls, well, and you are a great kicker, Grady.
Well, I
mean,
like the shot. It's fine.
You know, because the shot was laying, 2 balls were laying close enough. All he had to do was hit any part of the top side of the 9, and he was going to score the 14.
And he doesn't leave anything.
Right,
He doesn't
exactly.
make it, sure.
So therefore, the risk wasn't that bad, and really the consequences weren't that severe for him to shoot that shot, even if he missed it. If he makes it, he might win the game.
Now the 7 goes here.
He'll just draw straight back and go for the 3 ball here. Just get
Well,
off.
he'll draw back between the 7 and 3, sure. Now that's fine. I just lag this in. I don't like trying to draw this or do anything cute with it.
Just look at the stretch that this guy's got, as small as he is. See, he's got so much confidence in pocketing the ball.
He's a great shot maker, and he wanted an angle on the 7. And after pocketing the 7, he would like to draw to the 15, open up some balls.
But
and
I
end
don't
up with the 1.
think he's going to get position on the 1 here.
Well, if he draws the cue ball into
If
the
he
15,
draws the cue ball into
looks
the
like he has to
between
get a
the
shot on the
15
1.
and the 6, he's got to almost
Well, it
have a
looks to
shot.
me like, well, if he's straighter in than I think he's got to go
following.
forward.
He's going to go forward and try to kick the 1 a little bit forward.
I didn't think he could get on the 1.
Well, by going forward, he's telling me that the 15 ball on the side of the rack is also a good ball for him. It looks like that he can pocket that ball. Can the 2 pass the 4 here?
I don't think so. Now, even if it doesn't, that's the shot that I like. If there's nothing else there, knock the 2 over close to your pocket and put Steve Cook right on top of the 11 ball. Better yet, up by the 8 and 11.
He's looking like it might go.
Oh, he's looking at something again.
I think he's just doing what Grady said, just dropping it over there, putting him up against
That's
the line.
absolutely the right shot. Now, look where he got this. Steve
Now,
cannot kick.
It was a tough kick for Steve.
If he can bank the 5, that's what he's got to do. Or, well, that's all he's got.
Raphael put Steve in a very difficult
This is the type of a situation that I really hate being in. I can understand how Steve feels. I've been in situations somewhat like this one, you know, and
It seems like you're in one of those all the time anymore, Billy.
that's true. That's true.
His only other choice would be to kick easy 2 rails and try to leave the cue ball on top of the 2.
That's what he's contemplating right now. You can just see his mind working.
What I think he doesn't like, Beanie, about the 5, he has not a natural angle just to draw the cue ball back to the end rail.
If he does shoot this ball, he's going to draw the cue ball all the way back here to the end rail. But it's a bad angle. If he was over about an inch more.
It looks like the 2's almost in the pocket, regardless of where he draws the cue ball to. I believe Martinez can pocket the 2. It looks like the 2's almost in the pocket. And as thinly as Martinez cuts balls, I'm sure that he'll pocket the 2. So it's absolutely crucial that if Steve shoots the 5, he better pocket the 5 if he expects to win this game.
It looks spinnable, the 2 ball. I think you can spin it in the pocket. Tough spot to be in. 5 balls to -1. 2
and
apiece.
it's a tough place to take a scratch, too, almost.
But there's
you
no
know?
place to take one. Where are you going to
That's
take
what I'm
it?
saying. You're going to leave yourself back in about the same position.
You can't take it in the same position. Jesus, leave the guy
I mean,
free
you'd
shot
have-
on the 12
Yeah,
or
you'd
5.
have to move it a little some
Let
kind.
me ask you a question, Beanie. Today's 1 pocket, is it more offensive than it was years ago?
Oh, absolutely. There are just so many more offensive moves today than there was.
I
in
guess
the
you can
past.
attribute that to the Simona's cloth and the better balls. You know, they just open up better. The Simona's cloth, a faster playing
Well,
cloth.
that and
more
also,
conducive to the offensive game.
and the players are so much more knowledgeable. Oh, they know every shot, and they have invented a lot of them too. That,
Well, it's a very creative game.
yes, it is.
All of us have tried to learn new shots.
Okay, he's taking a scratch, and Martinez obviously is going to bank the 5 or the 12
The
if
12,
he
he
can.
let
He
him.
will bank the 12 ball here.
Well, I'm surprised that Steve left him a shot
I
on the
cannot
12.
believe that he moved it
I
up
can't
there.
either.
If he
That's,
can hit the 12 ball full,
I can see
he will just put him in a deeper trap.
my angle is perfect for that. What he's looking at is that he can't keep from leaving the 11, right?
Yes.
Unless he misses the 2 with the 12, which is fine. Hit the 12 a little thick. If Forget the two ball.
You know, Steve really doesn't make too many unforced errors. So therefore, if he pushed the cue ball there, he must have some reason why he did that. Possibly the 11-4, the way it lies, maybe the 11 could go into the corner pocket if he makes a mistake, and then Steve can steal this match.
It does go into the corner pocket.
So maybe he's putting some bait out there for Martinez, see if he bites on it.
Watch this shot. Now this shot, a lot of people call fouls on this shot. Now, I think it was a good shot.
Boy, I wouldn't have done that. He gives Steve a chance. Now, he could have left an easy cross-corner bank with 1,000,000 balls that would go. He's pretty fortunate it came out that well, boys.
Let me tell you, also, the balls up there around the spot, all of them fit. The 11,
Right,
12 is a
exactly.
Okay, let's take a look at the situation here. He's trailing 4 or 5 to nothing. Maybe even mine. Does he owe a ball, Steve?
He
owe a ball?
owes 2.
Yeah,
Okay, let's look. The 11, 12 they're dead. All the balls are in play. There's a good possibility that this guy might bank the 5 here. What the heck? I mean, I wouldn't like to want to play. I wouldn't want to play this game
I
out.
were desperate at this point, I would just, if I didn't think I could play a good safety, I would bank the 5.
Well, he's going to look and see if he can get that 2 out of there.
How about the 1? Will the 1 go across?
If the 1 goes, that's a reasonable bank.
Well, if the 1 goes, he would have shot it by now. So obviously the ball doesn't go.
Could play the 13 off the high side of the 2 if he can control the cue ball.
Boy, he's lucky it didn't come back and hit the cue ball.
No, he's really got his work cut out for him now.
6 to owes 2.
Well, he needs, okay. I was thinking that Steve made that ball in his pocket. He needed to spot it, but it went in Raphael's pocket.
Well, it doesn't look good for Steve Cook from here. He's got
Raphael has 6 balls and Steve has 2.
owes 2.
But Steve's not completely out of this with all these
No, they're all
balls down
in play.
the table.
They're all in play.
This is a very interesting situation here. You know, the inexperience of Rafael Martinez may, induce him to go for an offensive shot somewhere along the line here. And I think that's totally the wrong way to play this game from this position. I think what he really has to be thinking of is getting balls out of play, putting balls in the position where Martinez can't hurt him. Forget about, winning the match in this inning or even the next inning. I think what he really should do is reposition the balls on the table while he has an opportunity.
Well, he could bank the 6 and leave the cue ball over about the 3rd diamond on the lower left-hand side rail, but if he does that, he's going to leave Steve Cook a bank on the 1.
Well, you don't want to leave Steve anything. If I were Martinez, I would position the 1 behind the 4, leaving the cue ball on this side of the table somewhere, not giving him any kind of a shot to hurt me, and then eventually put another ball or 2 more balls out of play and then play it from there.
Yeah, that's exactly what Raphael has to do. He has to position these balls, get them out of play. And then if he makes a mistake, it's not as costly. I mean, hey, if he makes a mistake with these balls down here, it cost him the whole game.
And if you notice the way he's looking at the table, he's still looking for an offensive shot. He's not thinking defensively right now. He's not. He really isn't,
I would be looking to have those balls down at the end of the table.
Exactly.
I know Grady would do.
Exactly. All his good shot making will not help him if he gives Steve a flyer and he makes it. So therefore, what he really needs to do is position balls where Steve can't make them.
Well, I agree with you guys wholeheartedly.
I like knocking the 1 underneath the 4 here, putting the cue
you
ball
look
on the
what
other
he
side.
is trying to do. He's trying to go 2 rails. He's trying to bank the 1, go
See,
2 rails.
this is an experience right here.
Terrible shot. He may make it. He may win the match.
So that's total inexperience right there. He's given Steve a chance to win this game. Steve must go for the 5 ball here. And there's no question about it. I mean, he doesn't want to do it. He's not that type of a player. But,
I agree.
But, it's inevitable. If you play enough matches, you're going to have to come with a shot like this to steal 1. And I think this is the time.
What about the 8 off the 12?
Well, I like the 5 better
No, the
because if he
5
makes the
would be
5, he's
better.
going to get a shot. If he makes 8 off the 12, there's no guarantee
Well, what I
he's
like
going to get a
about
shot.
that kind of shot, the 8 off the 12, is it doesn't require that pure hit. Now, his only other choice, perhaps, give up the 1 and go ahead and play it from 7 balls to -2, but I know he didn't want to put him on the hill.
So that was a good shot if the score was tied up at 3 apiece.
Yes.
Or
But
if you were behind.
Yeah, even if you're behind.
I mean,
still,
he's
it's a very
forced
good shot.
Steve to shoot.
Right. No, Steve
And,
wants a shot. In other words, what mindset Steve has is, give me a shot, give me a shot.
What I
give
don't
me a
like
shot.
about
I'm
this-
2 in a hole, you only need 2. I need a shot.
I liked Beanie's choice a shot ago. Why not go ahead and bank the 5 while you've got 5 or 6 balls that you can make? I thought, I mean, the 5-ball bank's much easier than this.
Yes, it would have.
Well, he has to be careful. If he pockets the 5, he doesn't scratch off the 11.
Oh, he's not going to
It's
scratch.
way too low to scratch in the side. His next shot would be probably the 13. He made it.
What a shot. Gee
That's
whiz.
exactly
All I
right.
can
What a
say.
shot. A little ill-fated with the
And it was ill-fated.
yeah,
Right.
with the results there, you know.
Now, let's assume that the 4 and 8 would have rolled out there in pretty good position where he could make them. Well, he would be running 6 balls, and he would be right back in the game.
Well, if he's got an angle, I like knocking the 4 easily into the 11, 13, and making the 1 for Rafael. I don't see anything any better there, do you?
The only thing I see better is just cutting the 8 ball in. Going
Well, he's
off
left-handed. He can't even reach this.
Yeah.
Well,
A right-handed player could make that 8 ball, go into that other ball, and possibly knock the 1 out all at the same time.
Steve realizes that all the balls are in play. He has an excellent chance to win this game. He got over that inning, pocketing the 5.
I didn't like
All the
that.
balls are still in play here, and if Rafael Martinez makes another mistake, Steve realizes that he can win the game, and it looks like Martinez is still thinking offensively.
If I were ahead like Rafael is here, I would still shoot the 6 here if I didn't have an angle to scratch and leave it in that far left corner.
No.
No way. There's no need
way.
for that. That's
No need.
totally wrong.
Okay.
There's no need for that. What you want to do is you want
I
to
would
shoot the
take
8, 2 cushions
8
up
ball,
table.
you got it.
Bring the cue ball on the side of the table. What does he have? He has nothing.
Well, okay.
I mean, it's not even.
Anytime you're shooting this shot here, you're just putting him down there. Now, he's got way the best of it. There's no question about it. But
So that's totally wrong. Also, he's lucky he
you
got
know
the
what?
kiss there.
He got lucky, yes, and he kissed the ball.
Well, Steve.
See,
is
he's
probably-
looking to lose the game. That's what he's looking to do. But he's not trying to lose the game. But the way he's thinking just the way Cook wants him to think.
Well, he's going to have to take a scratch here. I don't think he's even got a shot. He can't get behind the 4 and 8.
He might go for the pocket here. This is a winning shot.
With what ball? A 13?
The 13 ball. This is a winning
Ah.
shot.
No, he's not going to shoot. the
It's a tough shot. I'd hate that to shoot it.
Well, what's he going to do?
Well,
You
that
see a
I don't
safety?
know. Not really.
I think he's going to shoot the 13 ball myself, or the 5 off the 12. But the reason I don't like the 5 off the 12 because he might pocket the 8
Might
or
pocket
something,
the
or
ball.
the 12. I like shooting the 13. This is a winning shot here for him.
He might. I don't think. I can't tell. He might be able to go off the 12 and get behind the 4 and 8. It's hard to tell from this vantage point.
So he doesn't know what to do, so therefore he has to shoot the 13. I mean, that shot is available.
Well,
He can win with it.
dinner tonight says he doesn't shoot the 13.
Billy is speechless right now.
I mean, you pick a shot, then I'll bet you 2 dinners.
Well, he's going to take a scratch or try to go off the 12 ball. I don't see that he's got much.
I don't
other
even know if he
choice.
can take a scratch. He might not have enough room in between the 6 and 15 to float the cue ball down table.
Well, you may be right.
So therefore, if that's the situation, what do you do?
You may
Well,
be
I'll
right.
tell you what. How about taking the scratch and just putting it in the center of the table up there with the 6 ball straight in, where he can't hit the 15 or the 8. They won't fit in the pocket.
No, that's no good against Martinez. He never misses.
The 6 ball straight in, off the rail.
he'll make
if
it.
he leaves, if he misses it, see where the balls are
He's going to
sitting.
shoot the 13. You pick 2 shots, Grady. I'll pick the 13. You got to bet.
What, for dinner? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You pick 2 shots. Pick 2 shots quickly.
Well, either take a scratch
Okay, that's 1.
or go off of the 12 and try to get behind the 4 8.
Okay, you got those 2. I got the 13.
Okay.
Restaurant of our choice, right?
He's taking a scratch. He's going behind the 8 ball. He double-crossed both of you.
No, that's the shot I called. I said
No,
take.
you said off the 12 and taking a scratch. Those are the 2 shots
I
you
said taking
called.
a scratch. I
That
said that
wasn't a
way
scratch.
earlier behind the 4 8. That's
Wasn't
exactly
a
what I said.
scratch.
Oh,
If that was an
man.
intentional scratch, I wish someone would give you some support here.
You guys want me to be the referee for this?
I mean, here's a guy who wants everything.
All right, take a look. Now, he's going to make this 6 ball. Watch it, folks.
Well, he hit it.
You watch
if
how
the
well he
skate's
hit
there,
it.
It's going to go in.
No, he's not making that.
Well, it
It's
is
It's in. No,
pretty
it's not.
close, folks. Now, what is he going
Well,
to
there's
do?
no question he's going to shoot the 13 here. I'm laying 3-1. He shoots the 13. Okay?
Well,
He should've
I'll tell
shot
you
it
what.
last time.
Call me
He should
crazy.
have shot it last time.
If
because
I
he gave
were in this
Martinez a free
position,
poke at him.
I would give him the 6 and
Well,
try
he's
to leave
got
it. to-
7.
Oh, he's got 7.
He needs
Give
one.
him the
I was
6.
thinking he had 6.
Give him
Okay.
the match.
But you might give him the 6. Come to think of it.
That sounds like something I might do, fellas.
Figuring this
I
is
was
enough-
out of the way. I was thinking
figuring
he
this
had
is enough
6.
agony for you, you'd probably just concede the game.
Well, all I can tell you, folks, I'd hate to be in Steve Cook's position right now.
No kidding. He's
He
in
is
bad shape.
-1 ball, and Rafael needs 1. And that's Rafael's pocket over there to the right.
If Cook makes the 13 ball, I look for him to get at least 3 or 4 more balls for sure.
Billy, do you think you could make this 13 under this circumstances?
Not in a million years.
I don't think it's that tough of a shot when you're trailing -1.
Well, he's
and the other guy
shooting it.
needs
Here
one.
it
Because,
comes.
because you don't really have much of a choice.
Here it comes.
It's
It's
a
either-
tougher shot to shoot if he needs 1.
He looks like to me he's shooting a 5 off the 12. Let's see. Cannot quite tell from this angle. No, he's shooting a 13. That's a tough shot.
He
Game.
Well, he did.
Match.
He shot Grady's shot. He gave him the 6.
Well, that's amazing that Cardone would try to get out of dinner. I called kicking behind the 4 and 8 way early, and that was my shot.
Now, you had 2 shots, right? You called 2 shots.
Well, he
One
just
was the
happened to hit it
intentional
good enough
scratch.
where he didn't scratch,
No,
that's all.
one was the intentional scratch.
All right.
The
Well,
other
that,
one was off the 12, which wasn't even available.
Well, let me ask you, both of you guys this question. This was an obvious match between a shooter and a mover, and the shooter won. Now, that usually doesn't happen. It's the opposite way around, although
I don't know
Rafael...
about that. With the table that has forgiving pockets and the amount of experience that Martinez does have playing one pocket, I think he's capable of beating anyone because he just shoots so straight. And he doesn't have much fear. Well, he really doesn't.
I can see that. Well,
I mean,
when you
there
have
are
all-
some shooters that shoot straight, but they have fear.
Yeah.
Martinez shoots straight, and he doesn't have any fear, so therefore he's very capable of beating anyone.
Well, that's what I said to Grady in the beginning, that, he just pockets the ball so well you can't make any mistakes. I would prefer myself personally to play against somebody like Steve Cook than Rafael. They scare me to death. It makes my stroke a little weak.
I don't want the person following me that never misses. I want the person following me that's going to move around with me a little bit, to entertain me a little bit, to give me a little enjoyment out of the game.
Well, Billy,
No,
Billy,
I sure
why don't you tell all the folks out there if they'd like to buy some additional videos where they can get them? Give them the telephone number here.
If they want to buy some tapes,
Yes.
well, they know where to call. They got to call Pat Fleming, 1-800-828-0397.
Okay. It's been a pleasure working with you, Grady and Billy. And we're signing off.
I enjoyed it a lot too, fellas. The match was terrific.
Well, it can't come much closer. 2-2.
Well, Steve Cook came with 1 great shot. It might have been a little different had he obtained position there.
Yes.
Well, I'd like to mention that to purchase any of these quality tapes, you have simply to call 1-800-828-0397. And with that, I think we'll call it a wrap.